Aloha and welcome to Kukulufitness, where our goal is to build a better body. And in today's video, we're going to be going over 7 basic movement patterns that we need to implement in order to build that better body. So let's go. First movement pattern we're gonna go over is the push pattern. The basic way to do it is to do a push-up. You can also do this on a bench, where you're doing a bench press, or with a band, where you're standing with the band behind you, doing it. Head in a neutral position, your shoulders away from your ears, and your hands can be underneath your shoulders. You can go wider if you want to. And your elbows go back, down. So you're making an arrow from your elbows to your head. You don't want them to go out, you want them to go back. You can have your feet together or have it a little wider for stability. Inhale on your way down, exhale up. If you want to make it a little easier, you go to your knees. And if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can elevate your legs. All right, this is the squat pattern, one of the basic human movement patterns that you need to learn in life and do in life. You're gonna stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, maybe hip width distance apart. You turn your feet slightly out, and you're gonna turn your knees slightly out. You're gonna hinge at the hips, knees, and ankles. You put your arms out for balance. And that is the squat pattern. You can do these weighted with a weight on your back. You can do weights in your hands. Either way you do it, this is the squat pattern. You wanna have your feet pointing slightly out, your knees driving out just a little bit. You're gonna hinge at the hips, down, try and keep your back straight, your heels down, and drive up. As you're standing up, you're driving through your heels. This is a hip hinge pattern. When you're hinging from the hips, one of the basic movement patterns that we need to do in life. What you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your feet nice and straight, about hips width distance apart, your knees slightly bowed out. You're hinging from the hips, keep your core engaged, your lower back straight, or your back straight, hinging down and standing up. You're using your glutes and your core and your hamstrings in this movement. You can do these 2 legs, you can do these single legs, you can do them with a barbell or with a dumbbell or with kettlebells. Either way you do it, that's the hip hinge pattern. Here is the pressing pattern. Anytime you're pushing something overhead, this is called a pressing pattern. You can do it without weight. You can do it with a band like this. You can do it with the dumbbells, with kettlebells, with a barbell. What you want to do is you're going to keep your core engaged and you're pressing the weight overhead, just like that. When doing the pressing pattern, you want to keep your hands above your elbows. You want to keep your wrists above your elbows as you're pressing all the way up. From the bottom all the way to the top, my wrists are above my elbows. All right, you don't want them to fold forward. You don't want them to come forward. Keep the wrists stacked above the elbows. You're gonna press up. You're gonna keep your core engaged so you don't arch your back. You want to keep your rib cage and your hips together while you're doing that. This is the vertical pulling pattern, one of the basic human movement patterns that we need to do in life. You can do it with a band, you can do it with a pull-up bar. If you have a tree, you can do it with a tree. When you're doing the vertical pull pattern, you want to get kind of your body in line with what you're pulling. If you're doing with a band, you're kind of in line with the band. And what you're doing is you're pulling your elbow down towards your hips so you can engage those back muscles, keeping your core engaged while you're doing that. Inhale as you go up and exhale as you pull it down. This is the pull pattern, one of the basic human movement patterns that we need to do in life. When you're doing the pull pattern, you want to make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears, not shrugged. Keep them away from your ears. You're going to keep your core engaged, your belly button into your spine, your glutes flexed, and you're going to pull with your back first, finish by driving your elbows back. You can do them narrow, You can do them wide. You can do this bent over with a barbell. You can do it with dumbbells. You can do a single arm. Any way you do that, that's the pool pattern. All right, these are multi-planar exercises. Any exercise you do in multiple planes of motion, which is the frontal plane, the sagittal plane, and the transverse plane. So you can do all kinds of movement patterns to be able to move multi-planar in life, which is how we move in real life. Thanks for watching the 7 basic human movement patterns that we need to do in life in order to build a better body. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Aloha.